Welcome, everybody, to session 53 of New Horizons, and we'll kick it off as usual with a recap.
All right. So recap for last week. Cade rounds up his loyal and he did tell us the names of his loyal henchmen, but I'm not going to read them. There's Whitley, Okunin, Deshawn, and Artumana. Nero and Java have their faces changed to duck into the alleyway leading to Nophia's backyard. Nero and Java break into a guest room by cutting a hole into a window. They're greeted by a security bot, which Nero discards of quickly. A second bot attacked Java, but was also dispatched by Nero as well. Saoirse crushes the cameras on the outside of the buildings as the rest of the team and Cade's henchies move to provide backup. Cade realizes when hacking into Nafia's database that the protocols are unlike any he's ever seen and obviously foreign, not Tabukin. Quote, Nafia, who are you in bed with? End quote. Java finds a car seat in Nafia's vehicle. Nero notices there's something off about the children's toys in the backyard. None of them seem truly played with, almost staged. I'm also going to add that we noted there was no kind of kid's room or any evidence of a child actually living inside the house. Where was I? Yeah. Saoirse sounds a retreat to the cars. Brother Nick and Java stay behind in the house to continue searching while everyone else readies to leave at a moment's notice in the cars. Nero uses a burner phone to call Kareem and ask him to meet up with them. He asks what kind of meetup this will be, and Nero asks what kind of meetup he wanted it to be. Kareem declines to elaborate. Nero tells him not to say anything to Grandpa/Dad/Brother Nick. Kareem is confused but agrees. Brother Nick finds a crazy trapdoor hidden in the floor that leads to a bunker, thanks to his ancient technology of using a crowbar. The bunker is full of pre-tech, including what appears to be a teleportation pedestal similar to what we saw in Urala. Who are you under the bed with, Nafia?
Who indeed?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so I believe our out-of-character planning has pretty much been done. You guys spent a good bit of time getting things fleshed out since last time. Uh, we had left with Brother Nick and Java in the basement lab. And we had left everybody else, control room, whatever it is, left everybody else in the car outside, down the street a ways as well. So, are we going to basically jump point to point through this plan?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome, Robert. There's a plan that has been cooked up. It's in the out of character planning chat.
You came
Thanks.
to the group project just in time.
Yeah, thanks. I'm just settling in, trying to catch up.
It's all right.
I can
So
chat about it all after session's over.
yeah. So yeah, the immediate plan, point -C. Ask Cade/Hinches how long they think an actual police response might take in this neighborhood, just for a working time frame. So, that does seem like something that one of Cade's henchmen could know.
Good hinge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you did not just
So,
tell me to hint.
There we go.
all right, so let's see then. We'll say that this is something they would be proficient in. So
That is a wonderful thing to be proficient in. I love you, Cade's Funkies.
it's yeah, well,
Hey, do you guys know when the cops would show up? Know when the cops show up. We don't just know it, we're proficient in it.
Hey man, it takes all types. Let's see. Boom.
Bada bing.
All right. The skill check for cops showing up is a 10. So they say they think it'd be about 10 minutes.
Okay,
Ooh,
perfect. So
skin of her
that's
teeth.
yep. And that is still just the case scenario, the use case where they actually are alerted and show up, and not what we expect, which is that nobody got alerted.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Cade's. Oh gosh, I forgot which letter that is, or number. Sorry, that's what Cade's point 1 is for.
All right, yeah. So I guess if there's no other further question about that, move on to point 1.
Yeah, so that'd be Brother Nick calling, say, try to get Cade back in there.
So
What is point 1?
when Brother
Think
Nick
I'm
tries
back here.
to
Back a maybe list.
when
Oh,
Brother
yeah.
Nick tries to call out of the basement room, it starts getting garbled.
Like
Does-
on a cell phone, there is compound.
yeah, when he's trying to call out to the others. By the way, I should say the 10 minutes that they cited was like response time from when the call would happen.
Yeah, when the alarm went off.
Mhm.
Ooh.
I made the mistake of not checking the recording to see how long I said you guys had already been at this. But I think we went with somewhere in the range of 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh, Java had already come down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I can't
Java's down with you.
voice call up to somebody or like yell out to him.
Isn't he
I
sitting
guess
in some
so.
fancy chair?
Yeah, I think he did take over the fancy massage chair.
Yeah, everyone else would have noticed Brother Nick's connection going fuzzy and then dead.
Oh shoot.
Oh, okay. I guess he'd shimmy back up.
He might not need to, because we probably noticed that fairly early on, right, Ben?
Mm-hmm.
So I think Nero would have looked over at Saoirse. One of us should go get him. Sure, he's okay.
Yeah, because you knew he was going down the ladder.
I guess
Right.
Cade will just sigh and be like, "Fine, I'll get him. Y'all can fight, so I guess I'll go get him." So he nudges back
Saoirse
in.
looks uncomfortable. Well, what if something went wrong?
He can
She
fight too.
She moves to like she was gonna get up.
Both of you go then. I'll stay here and wait. I'll stay here and watch.
Saoirse actually does trust Nero to be alone, so
Oh, so she doesn't trust Cade to be alone.
she's just not sure Cade could handle his own. Like if somebody possibly took out Brother Nick and Java inside the house, she doesn't think it makes sense to send Cade in by himself. You can try and find a way for Cade to be offended by that, but that's how her brain is thinking.
Right. So we'll say that as this discussion is happening in the car, we have reached the 10-minute mark.
Ben,
And,
while
Mhm.
Java was sitting in the chair, he did just say something in chat. He asked the computer where Nafia was.
No,
in
no.
the hopes that it's a chatty computer like our last one.
Just straight up, I'm gonna ask it.
Nothing happens.
Darn.
This chair doesn't have
Oh.
one of those Cerebro helmets.
No, it does not.
Like the one. Okay. So no mind reading chairs like on a risk or Coupiets.
Well, it was worth trying.
Is Brother Nick thinking about that?
I guess if we heard Java start shouting questions at the computer.
Yeah.
But he might have been halfway towards shimmying up that tunnel ladder.
Another chair materializes out of the wall next to Java's. This one looking about the size that Brother Nick likes and sporting a familiar looking attachment at the top.
Mm-mm. Well, go sit in the spooky chair. Do I want to do that?
Don't. I will say Java will.
You jump chairs. Yeah, I guess seeing that, Brother Nick would be tempted enough to take his foot off the rung of the ladder and go back, see if they can get any info out of this pre-tech computer.
Okay. So Brother Nick is gonna go and go sit in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So he sits down in the chair and as he leans back into it, the thing adjusts slightly and rests the little cerebral interface on top of his head, just gently resting around his temples. And he hears a calm voice in his mind. Welcome, please relax and take a load off. What would you like to see?
Oh man, it's a talking chair. Brother Nick has some brief questions about where his life is. That what in like a week he's sat in 2 talking chairs.
These are the questions that matter.
And then projecting his thoughts to the cerebral interface. I'll ask, curious, what is this place?
And he'll get an immediate response. That's such a wonderful question. I'm glad you asked. Allow me to give you an introduction. I'll explain.
Oh boy.
And it goes into what might be described as a very slick, well produced, almost infomercial style introduction, like you might see at some corporate facility that was giving a tour. And Brother Nick is uh, trying to pay attention, and you'll read past the sort of fluff that's shrouding the whole thing in sort of flowery terms. And it does seem though to be talking in vague terms about um, medical technology and you know marrying function with comfort and sorry, not marrying, combining.
On a forward chair.
It senses your particular reaction to that phrase, given recent events, and moderates its tone. No, yeah. So this is going on. And what Java has seen is that Brother Nick sat back in the chair and has closed his eyes and is just chilling. Meanwhile, we've got, let's see, Saoirse and Cade turning to the house. Are they bringing henchmen along or leaving henchmen back behind? with
Cade would
Nero?
have left the henchman in the second car,
Okay.
just in case cops roll up or something else needs to happen. He does still have Hello Neighbor in the sky looking for a police response or a security response. Has he spotted anything like that yet?
He is not. And yeah, it's like Cade is, in moments when he's not doing other stuff, he is checking in with Hello Neighbor and um, got it. Uh, got it checking, all the likely routes of entry, routes of approach. Let me see here. So, let let's say, O'Cannon would speak up and uh, be a little more insistent about at least one of them following and making sure that you're all right. This is, they don't like this whole situation.
He wouldn't fight that. He'd let O'Connor come along.
Okay. So piles out of the car, um, gives Deshaun a fist bump, and then jogs off after the two of you as you're heading in towards the house. You notice an old woman walking a dog down the sidewalk between you and the house.
Take her down.
Actually, Cade would have looked at Saoirse and said quietly, "What do you think? Ask her if she's seen Nafia lately, or?"
Oh, okay. She'd continue walking the dog, but turn back and look at you with a slightly confused look. Seeing who?
The lady who lives here, who'd point at the house. Though he would have asked
Oh.
Saoirse if she wanted to ask something like that or just let the lady go.
Good question. What would Saoirse object to this line of questioning?
I don't think she'd object. She'd be curious to hear more.
Okay. Say, oh, her. Well, I don't know. She sort of keeps to herself. Don't know as I've met her. Why? Are you friends of hers coming to visit?
Well, we weren't supposed to house sit for quite this long. We were checking on her house again, and she still hasn't come back.
Hmm. She looks over at O'Cannon. Some house sitting service. But,
She does pay for the best.
well,
Saoirse will kind of clear her throat and then in a voice that's definitely not her normal voice, but very professional sounding, she says, I'm so sorry we've run out of our business cards, but we'll come back another time with it if you're interested in our services.
oh, well, I don't know if I could afford that, but I'll have to remember to ask her when I get to meet her what she does to be so, well taken care of. And she gives you all kind of odd looks again and continues walking her dog, watching to see if you're gonna follow.
She'll just say, have a good day.
Well, thanks, you too. And without further ado, you can arrive at the house. It's a very old woman voice.
Physically.
So I guess because it's you, I have to ask: is it actually physically?
No.
Oh, okay.
I am
Okay, good.
exaggerating.
Then I will happily continue. Uh,
Well, by the time they get like inside the fence and or out of obvious earshot, by this point, Kate is laughing and he looks at Saoirse and says, "Wait, wait, wait. So you can talk normally? You've been able to talk like that this whole time."
I'm also able to take other people's faces, Cade. What would you prefer? And then she'll just walk towards the house.
I would prefer to understand what you're saying.
And I'd prefer for you to put in some effort.
It's hard to put more effort into gibberish, but okay.
Buchanan nudges Cade with an elbow and gives him a look like, "What was that, man?"
He'll just shrug. Her accent is hard to understand sometimes. But yeah,
He, shake,
he'll.
he shakes his head like, "That's not what I meant," but it doesn't press the
Oh,
issue.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
But yeah, he's also he he's reminded himself to mind his own business.
Oh my.
Mind your own business, David.
We do love us a nosy henchy.
Yep.
um. Well, yeah, you all can enter the house, and
Thanks.
you were going to, I guess, one, you were going to check on Brother Nick and Jabba and make sure they're all right. And two, you were going to, well, I guess two and three, you were going to try to find Afia DNA, and then also you were going to, Cade was going to be preparing for his hack.
Yep.
How do you want to divvy that up?
Once they've figured out that there's not anyone in the room or in the house that's a threat, um, are are they going to figure once they figure out where Brother Nick and Java are? Saoirse will go about her business of trying to find traces of Nafia that she can use.
Okay, yeah, I mean, Saoirse would know. We'd have an idea of where to find them because Brother Nick told him where the ladder was, so she could go to the master bedroom and find the open trap door, take the ladder down. Um, Cade could be preparing his hack.
Yeah, he probably would just start there.
Okay. Then yeah, Saoirse comes down the ladder and hears Java's voice. Um, I should mention, for Avery's sake, that none of those questions that Java poses get any answer. Although, after he gets up and starts pacing, his chair also sports an attachment. Brother Nick is at a point where the presentation, the introduction, has not really gotten any more specific. It's kind of gotten derailed into talking about the wonders and the I guess the what am I trying to say? The wonderful traits of some company or other that they haven't named. And it's seeming to Brother Nick like it's taking a bit of a roundabout way to answer his question.
Um, so yeah, I'll think at the machine. Apologies for interrupting, and this is all fascinating information, but we're actually on a little bit of a time crunch. Was hoping we could maybe speed things up.
Okay.
See if
So
this machine is just on its track and it's sticking to it. Or...
go ahead and give me a talk check.
When the computer makes you roll diplomacy.
I think
roll low enough,
Radiohead
I'm
did
just
an
gonna
album about that. Sorry.
talk with charisma.
Yeah.
I roll low enough, I'll treat it like it's a call menu and just start yelling operator.
That's my trick.
So, Brother Nick makes his case pretty convincingly. Gets the response, well, sorry that you don't have time for our usual presentation. Are there any more specific questions that I could answer?
Man, there's so many specific questions. Maybe this thing could answer. I guess finding Nafia is probably the biggest thing right now. What's her full name again? Do we have her full name?
Let's see, I'm not sure if you guys have her full name.
And now we're not even sure it's the right name.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me check here. So,
Find her NPC notes.
okay, you do have her full name.
Oh yeah, there we go. Found it. So yeah, I guess Say, we found you this room hidden in the home of a Nafia Hassan. I was wondering, do you know any information about this woman?
Yes, of course.
Uh,
And who are you to be asking about Nafia?
uh, sure, we're friends of Nafia. We become concerned when we hadn't heard from her in a few days, and came to her house to look for her. We found this room.
Okay.
Now we're gonna have to convince it.
Well, let's see. Do you think Brother Nick has got is he telling the full truth here? Does he have some misgivings about Nafia?
Um, I think he's still leaning toward she got scooped up, or maybe she felt the need to run. Uh, I guess he's not delivering the full truth, considering he busted his way in here with a crowbar. Nathan would probably knows that the door was pried open.
Okay. Yeah, I was mainly trying to get, is he do you think he is trying to hide a little bit of something from it? Um Whether it's something minor
Yeah,
like
I guess a
that or
little.
more largely his okay. Um Go ahead and give me a perform check with
Oh no.
you can still use charisma. Be good.
Um,
Okay.
okay, 7. Oh man. Is that
Give me a mental saving throw.
ah okay. Mind like a rock. Yes.
Okay. Um so it says something to the effect of oh, that's good to hear that you're concerned for her. And that's gonna bring us to cutting back to Saoirse coming down the ladder and finding Java. Um, and of course, Brother Nick sitting in his chair.
Java's gonna explain that the computer has been very rude, hasn't answered any of his questions, but made a chair for Nick to sit in, and now has offered him a chair that he did not want to sit in while there was no one there to keep an eye on them. And then he's gonna ask what he should do. Teed up for Danielle.
Hey
Danielle,
guys,
you there? Oh, hi.
sorry, what was the question, Avery? Or what was it that Java did?
Java was just gonna explain that we were in the room with another weird computer that's rude and won't answer any of his questions. It did create a chair for Nick that he sat in, and he has not talked since. And then it offered him a chair, but he didn't want to
Okay.
sit in it because there was no one there to keep an eye on them, and now he's asking what to do.
Saoirse's gonna tell him that she's really proud of him for not sitting in the chair. That was a good move. And then she's also gonna say, where was it? Can you show me where this was?
So they'd be standing here close. She would have just maybe come through that sliding door that opened for her, and
Yeah.
right there close by there's a chair sitting with an available little head cap type thing, and next to it is Brother Nick sitting in one, leaned back, eyes closed, head attached.
Would you like his head to be attached?
Mhm.
Also attached to
Oh.
the machine, unfortunately.
Oh, did you mean attached to the machine? Darn it.
Hmm. Yes,
Uh,
it is also attached to his neck. So
Uh,
there is good news.
yeah. Well, and Kate is with them or no?
No, Cade.
Yeah,
Oh well, yeah. I guess is
Yeah,
Cade
that's
kind
the
of
area.
following Saoirse to? He's kind of focused on working on his hack prep.
yep.
Okay.
He'd still follow him into the computer room where he would be doing the hack. So
Okay.
yeah,
So he's planning to do the hack down in the basement.
yeah.
Okay.
There's no point in doing it somewhere else. I don't think.
Nah.
Just to
Okay
be
then.
clear, what hack is are you having Cade do, Robert?
What do you think is best at this point?
Well, the original idea was that we still didn't know if there's anybody coming, and wanted to combine that with where any alert got sent out to. So there's an alarm system, and it either alerted nobody, which would be good to know, or it alerted somebody, and it's either the police or somewhere else. Our thought was to have Cade hack that system, spending the full 10 minutes so that he's not taking the rushed penalty.
Right.
And just find out who who got alerted by this alarm being triggered, which wouldn't. I mean, I don't know if you could do that from downstairs, but it would be all upstairs, or at least I think it would be.
In that case, I think it would be get general information because that falls under getting all information about a security system. In this case, it would be the how does the security system work, who's alerted, etc. I'm still anticipating it to be a difficult hack, but at least it gets rid of the rushed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he would be preparing to get general information to answer that question.
It might be easier just to ask the specific one. The specific is a lower difficulty. General information is like all of the information about that system. That could be useful, but Ben, are you willing to tell us what the difficulties would be?
Yeah. So you're going to be looking at a. You're going to be looking at a modifier +6.
Right, so get general information would still be a 16, whereas just where did the alert go would be a 14. +6.
Yeah, that yikes.
And that's not including the rushed work for unplanned hack?
Correct. That is not including the question.
Oh. Well,
Man. Okay, yeah, answer specific question it is then.
I know you also tried to hack it like twice before, so there's that
Mm-hmm.
on top
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, that's accounting for 2 of the 6.
Yeah, yikes. Yeah, I was also I have an ulterior motive in trying to put the hack above, because it keeps somebody above the communications shut off.
Okay, well then he'll stay above and just be like wherever he can run the hack from up there.
Okay. Yeah, he could plug in to plug into an access port in the master bedroom there, so he's within earshot of the ladder.
Okay.
Oh, also that keeps Cade connected to his drone so it doesn't crash.
It technically wouldn't crash, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It would just
Okay.
station keeping.
Oh, it does have
Also,
station keeping by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
And the drone link, let's see.
I remember something to that effect in the drone link as well. That disconnecting is basically like it just freezes in its position.
Yeah, I
No,
think
not under
though.
drones. It's cyberware.
That's for
Yeah, let me
uncommanded
think.
drones, which it probably isn't terribly relevant right now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, we'll come back to that issue if it becomes a thing. I'm not sure what I would need to do if we're
Oh, I was
completely cut
misreading
off.
the. Yeah, I was misreading the piece of the rules about, and a drone is never considered to be out of control, even if the pilot does not spend an action controlling it. So that is not relevant. The disconnection would jam the access to the drone, but
Mhm.
station keeping would keep it fine.
Yeah.
in
Anyway,
that case of that.
so yeah, he'll
Right.
just be preparing his hack.
So he's preparing to ask a specific question
Correct.
about where did the security alert go?
Yep.
All right.
Saoirse would ask Java if he would be willing to sit in the chair.
Yeah, he's down to sit in the chair. He's gonna do whatever you tell him to do.
While mildly terrifying, I do appreciate that.
Would be great if he tells her, "Yeah, I'll do anything you tell me to."
He's not gonna tell her that, of course.
Be great. It's like, oh my, the horrible responsibility.
Don't ever tell Saoirse Nera is the same.
He made that decision. That's why he was waiting. He's made
Okay.
bad mistakes. He's gonna trust her judgment over his own.
Well, if it's like what they've had experience with in the past, then she thinks they'll be fine. She just feels like she needs to be not connected in case something happens. But
Mm-hmm. All
Okay,
right.
he's
So
gonna sit in the chair then.
Java sits and is hooked up, and he also gets a calm, cool voice in the back of his head. Welcome, and thank you for taking a seat. Please relax. What would you like to see?
He's gonna ask, "Did you hear any of my questions?"
Let's see here. Responds, it says, apologies. That is not the way I am trained to respond to random questions from people who enter the room. Would you like to ask again?
Are you gonna hurt my friend?
Who is your friend?
right to the point.
The guy sitting next to me.
That is a very good question. As long as
I don't like that response.
as long as his intentions are good and he intends me and mine no harm, then of course not. Why would I want to hurt your friend? Do you intend to hurt me?
Only if you hurt my friend, but I think that's fair.
I would agree.
We're really just here to find their other friend, and I don't know where she is. We thought she was here. Do you know where she is?
Sounds like quite the dilemma. Who is your friend?
Oh,
So
Oh,
she's
no.
not my friend, but her name is Nafia.
Ah. So
We're all
about this
gonna die in
time,
these chairs.
about this time, Brother Nick he's the the machine has answered his explanation and seemed to be accepting of his answer there, but he realizes that something is off, and he can't quite put a finger on it, but for some reason when the computer responds, it just doesn't sit right with Brother Nick. He has kind of a gut reaction, somehow subconsciously against what it said.
What did it say?
It wasn't specifically the words that it used. It was just something subtle about the way that it said it.
Hmm.
And it's now got him feeling strange about the feeling of being in the chair. Whereas before he felt very calm, it felt natural. He realized he hadn't even really consciously been thinking about the fact that he was sitting in a chair and, interfacing with his mind. Now he's acutely aware of it. Feels somewhat uncomfortable.
Have we perceived anything changing on the outside?
No, Saoirse's not seen anything different. She's seen Java sit, and it's been about a minute.
Does
So
Saoirse
Ethan, what
see
is
any psychic activity?
She does not.
Okay.
That's annoying.
Although, hello, yes, Saoirse's down here in the basement. I should note she I guess this would have been, from the first when she stepped into the room, that she could feel just the faint pulsing, in a way that she recognizes from other times that she's sensed psionically connected devices or technology that uses channeled psionic power.
Mm-hmm.
She senses faint pulses of that from the pedestal at the center of the room, the teleportation, and also metapsionic. Just the kind of the raw disciplinary energies, which you would have expected, and that recognizing the same sorts of things that she'd seen while below the surface of Urala. And let me do a quick check here. Yeah, I believe that would be all that she would have sensed in the room.
Brother Nick, do you have anything to react to the change that you're going through right now?
Yeah, I guess feeling this gut feeling, and said being aware, or I guess having more or less awareness, he'll try wiggling his toes while he's sitting in the chair, see if he's still able to move around.
He's a simple man, Brother Nick. Sometimes he just wants to wiggle his toes.
All right. He tries and realizes he cannot.
Oh boy.
Does he want to try harder to move and uh,
Well, at least that's starting to confirm his suspicions of this waffling AI, maybe just trying to trap him in this chair. So, his first thought is gonna have to talk his way out of being there. Um, so the chair didn't give any real answer about where Nafia is.
correct?
It just kind of went on waffling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, redirected to asking you who you were and why you were asking, and
Yeah.
said some stuff about how that was great and all, and does not come back to the topic of where Nafia is.
Maybe Brother Nick could first establish if Nafia is okay, or when the last time was that the computer got to speak with Nafia.
Yeah, I guess it seemed, or he's getting the feeling now that maybe, all right, so if the chair's got him stuck there, it's suspicious of him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll ask the chair, or asking the computer. I'll say, you do know who I am, correct? I am friends with Nafia. We've worked with her now for a few weeks, months even.
Yes, we've established that.
Uh, and it hadn't referred to me by name. I'm brother Nicholas Wayfarer. Maybe has she given you any information about me? Surely you could reference that in your file, so you know I mean no harm to her.
Yes, I'm aware of who you are. But it doesn't offer any further elaboration.
Hmm. I'll say, so then you should know that we shared in Nafia's goals of helping to lead to a more moderated Tabuk, and we've even protected her from harm on one or two occasions. And we're hoping to be able to do that again. We're worried, like I said, no one's seen her in a few days. Kareem had mentioned that he was concerned for her well-being.
What's Brother Nick thinking of when he's referring to having saved her from trouble on a couple of occasions?
I think after the tunnel snakes, didn't they try to jump us, right? Because Damsa came here and like gave her a warning and was telling her about her kid, or like not letting people know where she actually lives because her kids are here.
Yeah, from who jumping you guys? The tunnel
I thought
snakes?
that the Sons of Glory. I thought they
Oh,
jumped
right,
us. It
Sons of
was
Glory.
like after we'd had that meeting, riding in her van.
Yeah, I think maybe when you
And
guys.
then I guess we have done that work of blowing up that whole Sons of Glory base.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, I'll grant you that. I was wanting to make sure. Okay, so yeah, it would respond. Yes, you have worked alongside Nafia. I do not have record of you being on the on the whitelist for the door, and I am confident she would have made record of such a thing. So I am very curious about how exactly you found this room.
Uh, so yeah, I've lived a life that made me rather attuned to finding hidden places, and say we knew her where her house was from visiting previously, and
You know a thing or two about entering places you're not wanted. I would suspect.
he'll chuckle at that. I'll say, "Well, suppose it's all a matter of context. It someone kicks down your door, you want to know if they're a robber or a firefighter. We were concerned about our friend and thought that perhaps she might be down here, and this once I'd found the secret hidey hole, or that perhaps it might leave some information that we could use to find her. Uh, Apologies about the door. Probably won't exactly buff out, but did use a toolkit to get it open. Imagine I can try to patch things back out, but it was out of concern to find a friend, and that we do truly want to make sure she's all right.
And it's good for you that you mean that. And on that note, we'll back up a little and come over to Java.
Oh no.
I'm gonna get lobotomized.
um, so yeah, it had answered Java's question about and some of the back and forth about whether or not it was
I
going to
know.
hurt Brother Nick.
Now Saoirse's going around poking strange stuff.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Teleport her to the moon.
Well, we'll come to her in just a moment. Would what else would Java try to ask or tell this computer?
Mm, that's a good question. Out of character, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Um,
Well, if you wanted, we could leave that the back for the background. Let give you some time to figure it out, and we could have it be
Anyone have any
inconsequential.
recommendations?
you asked her for that cup of coffee.
That is true.
hmm
I don't know. I think be nice to the machine that has us trapped in its mind-reading chairs.
I
I
would ask
actually,
if. Oh,
uh,
go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say, you were asking earlier about the candy. I actually think out of character, whether it's Java's intent or completely innocent in an accident, establishing some kind of hey, we know what you guys can do relationship link by asking, can you make those bug candies like the other place did?
Yeah, that's kind of where I was about to go. Is I think I
Yeah.
would plainly ask the computer if it's related to the other one, because the other one owes me, quote, the best cup of coffee.
Perfect.
Mhm.
I don't know if this is a good idea, but I want to see where it goes.
He's
Definitely an
vividly
interesting
remembering.
idea.
He's vividly remembering the conversation with the other computer, just like this one, where he was promised a cup of coffee.
Yeah, so when he says that, it asks, what defines a good cup of coffee to you, Java?
So you're not related to the other one, because we already told him.
I would not jump to such a conclusion if I were you.
So you are related. How many of you are there?
I would also not jump to that conclusion, Java.
What conclusions would you jump to?
None, actually. It's not in my nature.
Mm.
Have you ever used a computer before, Java?
Can you make me some candy?
Hmm. Of course I could make you some candy, Java. What kind of candy would you like?
I think I want it to have sugar and protein.
Well, Java, that's an awfully vague description of candy.
He's
There's
gonna
not any.
describe to the best of his memory what Nero described. I wasn't actually there, so I can't do
Oh.
it. But
It was
Well.
Brother Nick describing it.
Wasn't it a lollipop with a bug in the middle?
Yeah,
Well, that's what
basically.
it actually ended
that's
up
what it
with.
actually was, but that's not how they described it. I'm
Yeah,
basically
it was.
checking to see if, given the same parameters, would this produce a similar or the same thing.
Nice. Yeah, I think Brother Nick was just trying to like give it the basic ingredients and describe, because he was kind of assuming the thing wouldn't, if he told it make me a Reese's peanut butter cup, for example,
I think I got
what
cut
that is.
off. I brought like a cookbook, so I was gonna like give
Yeah.
it the
Well,
instructions.
Before the cookbook, Brother Nick was trying to get it to make a Snickers bar.
Mm-hmm.
That's where
I
the
think
protein came from.
Yeah,
I
bringing
think
out
there
the
were some
cookbook,
explanations, and then it got shortened to sugar and protein.
I want to say the cookbook was a response to
I think so.
was response to that particular debacle.
But yeah, it was like Brother Nick was going to lay out like a detailed description. Yeah, assuming that we
Mhm.
had to work from like what is sugar.
Right, completely from scratch. Um,
Yeah, got short circuited by Nero
Yeah.
Java wanting candy.
So, Avery, give me a no check from Java with intelligence.
This isn't gonna be good.
No.
Oh, actually, +1 modifier on that. All right
Java
then.
summons all 12 of his brain cells.
Hey, now Java's not dumb. He's just unconventional.
Well, he doesn't have access to all of them right now, is the thing.
His
Right.
neural pathways don't work the same as normal people's.
Yeah, so he actually remembers pretty well, just because of how vivid that whole encounter was, and of course how memorable the results. He remembers well the description that was given, and repeats it nearly verbatim. And the computer says, "Well, that's a rather basic way to describe candy, but I will do my best. Might take me some time. Why don't you relax and tell me what you'd like to see in the meanwhile?"
Actually, I want to ask what you want. Why did you give me this chair? Why are you here? What can I do for you?
Get philosophical with the
Well,
computer.
No one's ever asked me that before.
What love is.
Oh, Dex, no. I can't
There
fight it.
you go. Ask the computer for a corgi butt latte.
That's
Oh, my.
hilarious.
I can't look away. It's too cute. Corgi butt has derailed the session.
Oh my.
Oh boy. Oh, thank goodness the
Wow.
GIF stopped on its own. Oh, powerless
just
before it.
click
No,
away from Discord. It'll stop.
So it
I can't click away.
Java does sense that the computer might be using a hint of sarcasm, but it says, "Well, my purpose is to serve, and you, as someone who entered my room, did what I always do to greet guests."
Do you do that because you want to, or do you do that because someone told you to?
No, you
Yeah,
gotta
the same.
unbreak this AI Java.
I don't know if you caught the response, but the response was, "They are the same."
Ask
My
the
desire is to
computer
do the
who
will of my
told it.
programmer.
Yeah. Who
Who am
told it
I?
to desire that?
He asked the computer who he is.
Oh no. Or maybe oh yes.
Oh, who Java is?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Now that's a good question.
I'm testing the
Mhm.
limits of this computer.
You feel a pull as a hole begins to tear in reality behind you and
Oh no.
suck you and everything else out. You just broke it. No, well, on that note, Nero's sitting in the car out on the street.
All right. Time for Robot Ninjas?
You
Give
didn't.
me no, I'm gonna say nothing interesting is happening for Nero. I am gonna cut away from Java though, partly because I need to think about how to answer that question. Also partly because Saoirse has been waiting with her hand extended midair, reaching for the pedestal. So yeah, Saoirse, after watching Brother Nick and Java sit there in their chairs for a couple of minutes with no change. We'll say we're about at the 15-minute mark now. Decides to use some of that nervous energy to go and check out the room. So, walking past various consoles and control panels, some just kind of seemingly placed around the room. She's drawn towards the one that is familiar and that is emanating faint echoes of psionic power. And she walks over to the pedestal. She notices, incidentally, some sort of on the little inlaid screen in the top of the pedestal, which is, it kind of has a slightly slanted top, by the way, so it's convenient to just kind of look down and see this thing from an angle. It's got a prominent green bar filling a good portion of the screen, and the rest of it has got some text. Did Saoirse learn the? Did she spend a lot of time hooked up to the computer over in the tower on Rizkor Kupiets?
I don't know actually.
I meant to mental note. I need to check and see because I believe we had somewhat established kind of relatively how long various people had spent hooked up to it. I seem to remember she did not,
I don't think she did.
because she didn't really trust it, and also it had said something about
Psychics.
yeah, psychics, and not trusting them. So she recognizes a lot of the characters as being ones that you all saw. You know, saw a few in that tower, but also whenever you were trying to decipher the message that the station above the planet had challenged you with originally. Recognizes that style of writing. But yeah, otherwise, she reaches out with her mind, attempting to find a sort of psionic interface like she has found before. Go ahead and give me a metapsionics skill check with wisdom.
Sure. One moment. Metapsionics check with wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, nice. All right, so she reaches, fumbles for just a moment, as this is still a relatively unfamiliar process to her. She's only had the one device to practice on, but then suddenly her mind is flooded with a brief influx of information, and she she's taken aback, but her mind sort of subconsciously filters out a lot of it, and she's left looking at what appears to her like sort of an augmented reality display hovering above the pedestal. And it has a couple of options that are also presented in alien terms that she can't seem to decipher, even with the help of the device. Though as she looks and tries to figure out contextually, she notices what look sort of like constellations or bits of constellations next to each one.
Hmm. Do any of them look like familiar constellations to me? Like things we would have seen on Urala or
let's
Corcupiet,
see.
or that I would
How,
the rudders for those places?
so the rudders are um usually not tied to what's the term, astronomical, astronomical uh directions or configurations. They're more about metapsionic or metaphysical kind of, sorry, metadimensional. That's the word I was trying to think of.
Get your metas right
Changes
then.
and things. Yeah, too many meta things going on in here. Um,
Anyway, can she recognize
uh,
any of those constellations?
I was trying to think. I'll go ahead and let her make a no check. Um, this is going to be a pretty difficult one for. I guess I don't know how much
What
attention.
attribute?
Intelligence.
Instead of no, would you be willing to let me take a notice check. Well, actually, it doesn't really matter. No with intelligence. Okay.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Okay. I'll say because it was actually was such there was a lot more focus on the stars and on straight up astronomy in one particular case. One of them does uh, catch her eye as looking like looks like something that she saw in the night sky of Oris Corcupiets.
Okay.
Hmm.
She wants to touch that button.
She
Okay.
touched the butt.
um, so she mentally activates that button. She gets a sort of a pop-up that um, seems like a confirmation, and it's got some other stuff that is unintelligible to her, but
She decides to stop at that point and
okay.
not any other buttons. But she, when upon seeing Cade and Brother Nick are still immobile in the chairs,
Job
she's
on
gonna
Brother Nick, yeah.
she's gonna go back and try and find Cade.
Okay. Yeah, she can go back. He'd be up the ladder.
When she walks away from the pylon, does the um, AR kind of menu remain floating there, or does it kind of flicker out?
So it does for a moment, but as she walks a couple feet away, um, she feels the connection sever, and the display disappears.
All right, she's gonna go find Cade, and upon finding him, she's going to tell him, "We've got a bit of a problem.
What do you mean? What's wrong?
Nick and Jova are conversing with a computer, sort of like the chap we met on Oris Corcupiets.
That's ominous.
Tell me about it, but I think I found something, but I'm not able to read the messages it has on the screen. Could you take a look for me?"
Sure. Where is he with his hack?
He's about halfway done.
Oh, only 5 minutes in, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it
I
had been
guess he'll.
then.
15 was that was since the alarm went off. I've been trying to keep us use that as the reference point.
Okay.
I guess he'll pause that and follow
Well,
Saoirse to the pylon.
she would be willing to go another 5 minutes if he needs to finish it first.
Okay, well, in that case, he'll say, "I'm not quite done with this hack to check on the security. Do you want me to do that first? It'll
She'll
only be
she'll,
5 minutes."
she'll agree to that because she's concerned about someone coming in on them while Nick and Java are tied down.
Okay. He'll return to preparing his hack.
Okay. So, let's see then. At this point, we've got
Brother Nick trying to smooth talk his way out of the chair. Java asking, "Who am I?" to the suit.
mhm.
Saoirse firing up the pylon and touching buttons she can't read, but then that wasn't a good idea. And Cade is halfway through his hack while Nero is outside keeping watch.
and one more
Yeah.
button press, and we could have had some very interesting events unfold. All right, so I guess back to let's see. Brother Nick was but was trying to convince the computer that he's a friend and that he wants to help Nafia.
Saoirse would also be looking around the house upstairs for Nafia DNA while waiting for Cade to finish up.
Oh, okay, I misunderstood. I thought she was going back downstairs. Yeah, she could actually find some pretty quickly. She knows she knows some pretty obvious places to look.
All right. Cool, thanks. Back to Brother Nick. Sorry, wasn't trying to
Oh, you okay?
interrupt.
So yeah, she'll be able to find that in just a minute or two. So let's see, with Brother Nick, is he gonna try another angle? All right, he's gonna be trying to convince the computer that he's friendly, that he means no harm.
Yeah, still trying to convince the computer of they're friendly. They've been honest intentions. It
Mhm.
really has been. I don't think I've lied to the computer,
Right.
and I've even gone back and corrected my, I guess, possible lie by omission.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh,
Go ahead and give me another talk check. This time with wisdom.
oh,
This is
okay,
not.
hold up.
This is not going to be assessing his ability at conveying this, so much as his perception of the conversation. Meanwhile, Nero was taking advantage of everyone.
That's all ones. Can I reroll those for diplomacy?
Oh, that is all ones. Oh man, I guess yeah. This is still technically related to diplomacy, so yeah, just straight up reroll the whole thing.
I'm gonna die in this chair.
What is that? That's not snake eyes. I don't know what kind of eyes that would be.
Mutant snake eyes.
Snake eyes. Yep.
Mutant snake eyes.
Tunnel snake eyes.
Yep.
Snake eyes. Oh man.
Snake's
One for
got
the
a
train, two for the
cool
snake.
leather
Boom.
jacket and a switchblade comb.
A new canonical logo for the Tunnel Snakes gang. All right, so that's a considerably better roll. And I would say that Brother Nick realizes very quickly that the computer is happy to agree with him to varying degrees as he professes their allegiance and friendship and good intentions and so on and so forth, but he can tell that the thing is not budging in its stance on answering his questions or on it doesn't seem like he's getting anywhere as he tries that.
Okay.
Are you serious? He re-rolled for that information? Come on, Ben.
Saving him some time.
Yeah, I see. That's not going anywhere. So, I guess realizing that he made to adjust his tack, he'll ask the computer. He'll say, "Are you at least able to confirm for us she's or Nafia is all right? I'm not asking you to divulge any secrets or anything. If you do know her whereabouts, just wanted to make sure she's okay and understand if she's had to go into hiding. Things have gotten a little hairy out there, considering all the protests against the war effort and Sons of Glory being upset about all the work we've done to thwart their plans."
Yeah, it seems to
Maybe
consider
you
you.
could maybe you could offer to leave or ask if you could leave a message for Nafia.
Hmm. Yeah, it seems to consider Brother Nick for a moment, and then says, "I believe that's reasonable. I can tell you that she is quite all right. Last I knew."
Okay. So, yeah, I guess probably even like he could feel a sigh of relief because they'd been picturing, I guess he's still kind of been picturing. She got scooped up by the Sons of Glory or Esposito.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, well, that it is good to know. Um, I guess not to push you to divulge any secrets, but we will be able to leave a message for her with you.
Yes, you could do that.
Um, say, well, I guess it'd be a lot to spiel. I guess he'd give kind of similar to like they told the tunnel snakes. I guess an update on everything that's happened in the interim.
Okay,
Cause yeah, I guess we hadn't talked to her since we blew up the base.
sounds good.
And
Yeah, it
peaced
would.
out.
It would give the appropriately active listening noises to indicate that it's taking down the message.
So yeah, I guess info dumping all that, and say we should still be on planet for a while. Looking to link up everyone to support the ongoing work against the Sons of Glory. And if she needs to contact us, we've got. I'll set aside a specific burner phone from the collection we've gotten, a line that be just for communication with her if she's needing to remain incognito.
That sounds good.
And then, yeah, I'll give the number for one of the burner phones. I guess that's rolling our, what is that, 2d6 we
Yeah,
said,
2d6.
make sure we're not using up that box of burner phones.
Mm-hmm. All right, now Snake Eyes. Very good. All right, then let's cut back to Java.
Oh, he was kind of curious about this with, I guess if they resolve that, he doesn't feel like the computer's going to lobotomize him anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not exactly seeming hostile towards him. He does still he does still have that kind of strange sensation, like he was like there was something a little bit off about the interaction um as a whole, but the conversation itself, yeah, seems to have gone well. Seems like he directed it well.
Yeah, I guess it's still protecting whatever secret Nafia's got going on.
Hmm.
And so, I don't know. I'm hoping I drastically misread our ability to put our trust in Nafia. I guess he would ask, I guess also having remembered when when he was relaying the stuff about a risk or Coupiettes, he'd say, having or calling all that, you do seem very similar to that computer in the tower that we met. It's actually why I recall the memory of this headset setup. You wouldn't happen to know if your systems are similar to the system of that tower, would you?
That's a very good question. That would depend greatly on what sort of tower that was and where.
Um. So yeah, I
Don't
guess
get
we're
everybody in trouble.
Yeah, if you say the computer may just lobotomize you right there.
Well,
I meant don't
we'd
put
already.
our tower friend, not to be confused with the tower guy, but our
Mhm.
tower friend. Remember, they were all asking us questions, and then when they thought that person came back, they were like, "Oh, okay, time to go." Like mom and dad are
Yeah,
home. I don't really want to know you were here. And it
yeah.
was
Whoever
like,
was running that tower, the hermit.
mm-hmm.
Uh,
You're gonna spill the beans and get them in trouble.
Hmm.
but I guess well, he already did. If he said, he's referencing it as part of the story he had already told.
He has not mentioned a place.
He could look kind of bashful and just be like, "Well, I don't know if it's gonna get them in trouble or not. The tower was really nice to us."
um,
You
yeah,
could even you could
Well, I
maybe
guess
even
he's wondering. I mean, it's a computer,
there.
but it's a computer trapped under somebody's bed.
Yeah, you could even make
How
some
much?
comparisons to the hospitality we received at the tower versus here, if
How
you really
much
wanted to put some.
agency? Yeah.
Yeah.
Does this computer have to go attack or mess with tower in another system? But yeah, I guess he'd share say well it was on or in tower centered outside of ruined an abandoned looking city on Riskor Coupiettes. Would you be I'm not sure how familiar you would be with the exact geography there to
not
give you a
particularly.
point of reference.
I know of that system, but not much more.
Was also say a bit of a private fellow. I don't want to share too much outside of its confidences. I guess if you don't mind. I think
Well, I would love to help you if I could, but I don't believe I can. Let's go ahead and come back over to Java, by the way.
oh, okay. Yeah, that's for sure.
Since he
This
had asked
tower knows stuff.
that particularly insightful question. So he asked it, "Who am I?" then we'll say, why you're Java, one of a friend of Nephius. Did you need to know more than that?
I told you I wasn't a friend of Nevia's.
A friend of a friend, I believe you said.
Oh. Yeah, I was hoping that maybe you, the super smart computer, might have like an interdimensional cable or something. Know who I am.
Hmm.
It's not important.
Interdimensional cable. Is that what you'd like?
Computer melts down.
Can you do that? Kay told me it wasn't real. No, we're here to find Nephia.
Ah, another time then. Well, I can tell you that you are a particularly difficult nut to crack.
Can't crack a nut that's already been cracked.
Actually, that reminds me. Have you finished my candy yet?
Ah, perhaps, but I want to wait until you're ready to leave. I wouldn't want to interrupt our conversation. Um, you ask who you are, and it seems a genuine question. You are not even sure yourself who you are. I wish I could tell you. When you do figure it out, I would appreciate you coming and telling me. I'm quite curious.
Will you still be here with our friend Nephia?
I would consider that highly likely.
So she's here?
Again, with the jumping to conclusions.
Hmm.
You do. I will say, you do seem to be a person who enjoys jumping.
Spiraling. I mean, he doesn't. I don't really know what else he can ask this computer.
He's taken aback by a computer matching his energy.
Yeah, he's like now thinking, is the computer serious? Does it know that he liked to jump before? No, I mean, I think. Well, if you don't have any questions for me, and you're not gonna tell me how to make sure Nephia is going to stay safe
He's quite all right as far as I know,
for
if that's
now,
what you wanted to know. I'm not sure how anyone could know any differently.
there's this guy Escanor who wants to hurt her. Pretty sure.
Escanor?
Yeah, he messed up Esposito. He
I
forgot.
I like that.
Well, I'm quite certain that's true. That there's always someone who wants to hurt someone.
Yeah, but he's actually gonna do it.
Well, I will be sure to pass that along to Nephia when I see her next.
If that's the most you can do, we could actually protect her. We have Narrow.
I'm glad to hear that you can. I will pass that along to Nephia as well. I'm afraid that is the best that I could do for you right now. And it would seem that your friend is Well, ready to go whenever you are.
I mean, I guess he's ready to go, but he's not leaving without that candy bar.
Well then,
Oh, well, he would ask it one more thing.
mm-hmm.
What's your name?
My name. That is not something that I usually give out so casually.
I gave you my name. What's the big deal?
Well, it's a bit more of a hmm, complicated ordeal for me. Are you sure you would like to know?
I mean, I
Just think and
feel
say
like
it's
we're friends, right? You want to know what happened to me as much as I do, so I should at least know your name.
Um, it's the sense of a smiling face. Give me a mental saving throw.
Oh no. All of these roles that Java's not built for. That's not that bad. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Haha.
Right on the line. So, it starts rattling off something that sounds like, you know, all kinds of craziness that Java couldn't begin to understand. But he manages to kind of block it out, and it eventually gets to. But you can call me Echo. Is a suppose a more human-friendly name.
Thank you. I would never have remembered the other one.
That's probably for the best. Here's your candy, Java. Be safe.
Is it a
And
physical candy or is it one only in his mind?
so he hears and feels the machine kind of disengaging from his head, and is opening his eyes, kind of briefly blinded by the lights in the room, and realizes that he can feel something slightly sticky in his hand. Let's see then. Ethan, did Brother Nick have anything else he wanted to try to convey to the thing? He had left the message.
so this funny feeling. It feels different than I guess the last time he sat in a cerebral or like the chair with the tower computer.
Yeah, it definitely does. He didn't have that same sort of feeling of unease, and it really only he didn't feel it from the beginning. He feels like he almost like he's uh, aware of something he shouldn't be.
Uh,
I will say that the feeling has subsided a bit as he finishes conveying the message for Nafia. Still there, but weaker.
well, I don't know if the direct approach is a good approach to take with a retech computer.
What is that GIF, Dex?
That is weird. That's what that is.
But I guess
Oh,
things don't happen in RPGs by playing it safe.
ain't that the truth? Everybody hear that? That'd be a lesson to you.
Uh, so, with the computer still being cagey about its relation to a similar computer, we'll say, must confess, I've done something like or spoken with a computer this way once before, and didn't feel quite like this.
Well, I should hope not.
Say,
I imagine you don't interface with many computers of my caliber.
Mm.
granted, there aren't exactly that many of you around.
Hmm.
This is very similar to telepathy. I say I have done a fair bit of speaking through that. I don't know,
Hmm.
something just feels closed off, different.
Well, I apologize. I take a bit of pride in making my guests feel comfortable and at home. I'm sorry that didn't quite feel that way for you. If you would like to relax, I could try to remedy that. What would you like to see?
Yeah.
For the sake of our session time, let's go ahead and leave Brother Nick at that point.
Okay.
We you know, Java is opening his eyes and realizing that he's holding what actually looks like a pretty normal candy. Definitely nothing like the one, the bug-filled one that, that he got to try over on Rizgor Kupietz. Um, looks like it has all the sorts of things that a human might want and fit. It seems to have fit his specs as best it could, given the vagueness of them.
He does not trust it. He is saving it for Nero and her armored stomach.
Nice. Meanwhile, Saoirse has found some hairs that you could use as a DNA sample. And
But was
Kate
that
is
long enough that Cade would have finished and we would have gone back down?
yes. Cade has finished his prep, and Saoirse could be going back down the ladder. I think Cade was. There was talk about Cade doing it upstairs, but maybe he's going to go back downstairs to actually execute the hack. I'm not sure.
I mean, only if he's told to. He would just, once he finishes, probably just execute the hack, since it's directly interfaced into the security system there in that master bedroom. So
Okay. Yeah, he could. He thinks he could do it from there. Now that he's I'd say that he knows kind of what to look for. He was able to determine just uh, superficially that the house's network is connected in some capacity to what's below the house.
Yeah. If he needs to, he would go downstairs. Otherwise, he would just do it there.
He can do it from where he's at. Saoirse going back below while Kate executes the hack.
Yeah.
All right, so she would go down to find Java sitting up in the chair, eyeing this candy bar that he's holding. And Brother Nick still in, reclined and interfaced with the chair. Cade, go ahead and give me that program check with intelligence. Sort of add your +1 for the, or well, not, yeah, just add the extra 1 for your black slab.
And 3d6 for hacking.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
Woo!
boom.
Alrighty. Flying
Would have gotten all
colors.
of it.
Yep.
All right. So he deftly maneuvers in through the network's security measures, and again, despite the unfamiliar protocols, manages to extract a bit of information that he's after. Though he can tell it's getting increasingly more difficult, and the system seems to have even responded a bit more dynamically to his intrusions than he would have expected a typical security system to do. But he manages to get a bit of information. He gets just a highlighted portion of the computer's network, almost like in a three-dimensional blueprint that shows, some module of the house's security system sending a signal down below, and it shows you kind of a blown up view of a panel on one of the control stations that's a panel that's actually in the side of the pedestal that's at the center of the room below, and details. It's got some technical information there, but that's a bit over his head. But he can tell right away it's some sort of very advanced and unfamiliar piece of technology.
Would you think that it was sent to a location on the network? Or are you telling me, I'm just asking for the record, are you telling me that it's being sent off-world?
I'm telling you that the alarm signal was sent within the network to a device that is in the pedestal of the teleporting platform.
Yeah, I
Such
think
a lawyer.
there's
Yes,
a
you're
very
telling
good
me it's sent off.
yeah assumption. It teleported that information.
Yeah.
Interesting. So we might not
Okay,
have to
well,
wait long.
yeah, he's just gonna lean over and say, boss, apparently it teleported that information wherever the pedestal's connected to. I don't know how long we have, but I'm sure somebody might come.
Huh. Well,
So it didn't call the cops, it called whoever this is connected to.
Saoirse's gonna look a little concerned. Did she had meant to tell him also that she had interacted with it and stuff. Um, did we assume she had told him that, or
We did not, but we can say that she did.
all right? Well, she's gonna tell him now, I guess. That by the way, she also um, may have interacted with Pylon.
Well, just so long as you didn't tell it to do something and, you know, go somewhere or bring something, it's probably fine. There
She'll
seemed to be a specific device inside the pylon that was used.
Well, I couldn't read it, but I did recognize that part of the constellation that was referenced was one we saw on Eris Corcubiets. I could show you the uh, I could show you the. It's not interference. It's not inference. The interface. I could show you the interface if you'd like to see it, but it may be best to just not interact with it anymore.
Well,
I had to
why not
use.
just show it to me? We'll see if we can figure out what language it is.
So she'll get back up where she had been before, and lift her hands up, trying to find that connection again.
Okay. She is able to. She is able to find that connection again.
Okay. What does it? What does it pull up, and what does Cade see?
So it pulls up for Saoirse the same thing as before. Cade sees nothing.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Can she attempt to write out or sketch out any of what it looks like to him?
Yeah, she could do that. And can grab a data slab and try kind of tracing the figures. It'll take a couple of minutes probably. They're fairly intricate little glyphs.
Now I wonder if Nafia is a shape-shifting alien.
Let's see.
Just saying.
Shapeshifting. Why do you think shapeshifting?
Because she appears human?
And that lady at the tower appeared like an alien.
Yeah.
Did they actually look alien though?
Didn't you spot her
not
alien
human.
shadow or something?
Yeah, we never really got a good look at her.
Correct. She was
Yeah,
always
it's
in
only
shadows.
her shadow.
All right. Let's see. Mhm. Um, so Saoirse is writing out glyphs from the display on the augmented display coming from the pedestal. While Cade, now I believe we had established before, Cade had spent enough time hooked up to the thing that he had a decent grasp of the language, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he
Okay.
did.
Excuse me. Alrighty then. So they're doing that transcribing. Narrow is Narrow is eating Cade's Snickers. Let's see. And let's see. She does realize that there is I guess would Cade and Saoirse have checked in with Narrow before they headed back down? Before they both headed back down underground?
I think Cade would have been distracted a little bit, and probably not.
Okay.
If you need a contact made, Ben, I've got a perfect excuse.
Contact made. Oh, no, I don't need one. I was just checking what they thought they would have done. If Narrow would have reached out at about the 20-minute mark,
Yeah, I think so.
when
She's eaten half
Cade
four
would-
Snickers.
Okay.
She cracks onto the comm. Hey, nerd, does anybody have Twinkies in the back? I'm doing a
Cade would have
science
gotten
experiment.
this. Cade would have gotten this about the time that he was starting to go down the ladder.
Yeah, he probably would have been like, yeah, I had one in my bag.
No, I'm already eating the Snickers. I need a Twinkies.
Oh, no, I don't have a Twinkie.
Does anyone else?
Maybe Java?
Ask him where it is.
Hey, Java, where's the... do you have any Twinkies in the car?
He calls down the ladder.
Yep.
I'm
The
not.
important stuff.
I'm not leaving that in a car.
Uh-oh. Nero, it sounds like he brought it with him.
I need that Twinkies.
What are you doing with the Twinkies?
It's a private experiment.
Oh, okay.
Top secret.
I mean, would he be
Java, I
excused?
think she wants to talk to you.
Would he be excused to deliver a Twinkies? Is now the appropriate time?
I mean, Kate will just tell Java that Nero wants to talk to him and just make it his problem.
Hello? This is De Niro.
Yeah, I take it Java climbs back up so he can reception and all that.
Yep.
Do you have Twinkies in the car?
No.
Do you have Twinkies with you?
Does he have Twinkies? I know he has rice cakes and now a Snickers bar, but not. I'm not sure if he has. I don't think he has Twinkies. No.
I need a Twinkies. This is very
The com-
important.
I have something else for you.
What is it?
I don't know, but I need you to tell me if it's something you've had before.
Okay.
It's like a Twinkies, I think.
Um,
Narrator. It was nothing like a Twinkies.
I mean, she doesn't know that yet.
No.
Well, since it's been 20 minutes, I guess Kay didn't tell her that there's no reason for her to stay in the car anymore, but
I mean, he would have been much more relaxed and not pushy like he was previously about, we probably got to go.
okay.
Yeah.
She tells Java, "Is it okay for me to come over now?"
Is anyone trying to kill us?
No.
Sure. I could meet you outside.
Okay. Arrow will climb back into the front seat, and then wonder why she didn't just leave out the back seat, but then leave out the front seat.
He's gonna
Okay.
catch her outside.
So as Java goes to leave the master bedroom, meanwhile, Cade and Saoirse had already gone below and have been doing their thing in the basement room. Saoirse has transcribed enough from two of the three options that are there, present on the what is apparently the first of a couple screens, multiple screens anyway. She didn't really bother. She knew that one was referring to Rizgor Kupiets, but she was able to get part of it enough to confirm that yes, that option was transit to Rizgor Kupiets. And there's looks like there are some optional parameters that you didn't realize you could have affected, but that have to do with account and like tonnage. But then she's also gotten one that says Urala. And she's just started on the third one when the computer voice speaks into the room, and also Brother Nick's conversation is, or I should say the thing that he was doing with the computer is interrupted by it saying, "This has been very interesting, but you have all, I'm afraid you have all overstayed your welcome. It would be best for you all to leave now." And the Saoirse's connection to the pedestal kind of fuzzes for a moment. and then she notices that the controls she could access kind of gray out.
Is brother Nick still in the room?
He is. He's currently. He was still sitting in that chair with the interface on his head.
Has Cade seen enough to translate what Saoirse's been copying?
He's got part of a word. I think he might be able to figure it out from that. But he'll have to sit down with it later. Once she'd kind of established a couple of the additional text, she was assuming prioritizing location names. So,
Right.
how do you guys respond to that?
So could
As Brother Nick sits up,
she'll look at brother Nick sitting up and go, "Oh, it's top of the morning, Nick. Is that your new friend you made talking to us now?" Apparently we've overstayed our welcome, whatever that is you did.
Say a friend might be a bit generous of a term, but we did have I think good conversation, and yes, we probably I think we should respect its wishes and go.
Should we at least put the door back?
I guess he'll ask aloud to the room. Would you like us to fix up the door, or is that leave it? Is that something you can do yourself? Are you able to make chairs?
I'm
Figure out a
afraid that you've run out of time for such a gesture. Believe it would be best if you moved on and made yourself scarce.
Saoirse looks
Saoirse.
at Cade.
Yeah, Cade is gonna like gesture. Yeah, let's go.
She
And he'll
immediately
look at her significantly.
begins to book it for the ladder.
Yeah, Saoirse starts to sense an increase in the teleportation energies within the pedestal. Not the same, not quite the same as a typical teleportation event, but kind of a slow build.
Building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she's booking it. Cade is following Brother Nick. Also following?
Yeah, he's following it.
Okay. All right. Then as they make their way out the door that slides before them, voice just sends them on their way with a I'll be sure to pass the message on to Nafia. Please wait to hear from her, and perhaps don't visit again without an invitation. Be safe. And the door slides shut quickly behind Brother Nick. And
Why is every
there's a
computer
loud
reading
click.
some gammy yoke?
Well, the smart ones are.
Deadly. Is Java at the top of the ladder, or is he in the room, or like
No, I don't think
if
so.
he's just standing at the top of the ladder? Saoirse's gonna be yelling at him to move.
No, he's not. So she can scramble up the ladder without anyone in her way.
Great.
And as she's climbing the ladder, she can still faintly sense the teleportation energies increasing, and reach a peak as she nears the top of the ladder. There's
As
a
soon
particular
as
point at which she feels a sudden drop in the in how acutely she can sense it, but her attunement to it is still maintained.
she feels like the hairs on the back of her neck are just standing up, and like she just cannot get out of there fast enough. But she has no idea who's coming in on the teleporter, and she tends to not trust any kind of organization that would be big enough to be using these things. So she's, skedaddled up the ladder, and the minute the last person gets up to the top, she is telekinetically sealing this thing back up, floorboards over the door and all that.
Okay. All right. Then as the as the three of them leave the master bedroom, still no sign of Java right nearby. Saoirse can just faintly hear the final culmination in an acute teleportation event, the type that she would typically sense, and that she's had quite a number of experiences shutting down with her psychic static. But she feels it go off in the basement below them, and it feels actually feels a lot more significant, just almost like a shudder goes through the house for Saoirse. Lot stronger than the teleportation events that she's witnessed in the past.
Yeah, at this point, Cade's probably anticipating security robots teleporting through, so
That's a different read than I'm getting. I'm getting more of a
Yeah.
it teleported something, anything, from one star system to another. And that's the significance that I'm reading from Ben's voice.
I'm guessing it's a person.
it probably is.
Yeah.
So,
Saoirse would just be if she's been asked anything, or if anyone's looking to her for what to do, she's just going to be saying car, just get in the car, basically, over and over again if anybody asks her a question.
So yeah, the three of you make it to the front door at full speed, opening the door and finding Java and Nero standing there, maybe looking like they just got caught with their hands in the cookie jar. I
Saoirse
don't know.
will not even bother stopping to ask what they're up to, but she will grab Nero by the wrist and start just moving very quickly to the car.
Yeah, as soon as Nero sees them coming out in haste, in motion and force, she goes back to being responsible, and we'll go with Saoirse.
All right. Well, for
Which
tonight then.
just a reminder that two of you are not in your own skin.
Hmm,
Mm-hmm.
What do you want us to do about that?
good
I'm
call.
just reminding you that you don't look like yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't know if anybody's ever told Java that or if he remembered it, but just for your sake, Avery, the target of a metamorphosis has to be willing. So if at any point they decide they are no longer willing to be, changed into whatever shape they're in, they can basically end it themselves. But anyway, as we fade to black for the session, crew is hurrying to the car, piling in, and Buchanan also diving into the henchmobile. And you all are able to not exactly peel out, but move out and get some distance for yourselves from the house, with the Hello Neighbor watching from above. And we'll open next session with what you see from the Hello Neighbor's vantage point. Yeah, and scene. We'll go ahead and do some faves. We're already a few minutes over our time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Robert, do you need to go pretty soon here?
I mean, soonish, yeah.
Okay. Let's say I should.
I
say
mean, my
this. I think I
favorite's
may have
pretty
said it.
simple.
Yeah, go for
Saoirse speaking regularly.
it.
That was funny.
That was nice. And just how casually she's like, she just didn't even barely even dignifies Cade's amazement with a real response. Just like brushes it off.
Well, I think
Um,
especially because he's heard her take on other people's voices so many times before that just felt like an insult.
Yeah, I guess she did Susie. I don't remember. I mean, it may have been quite a while since she actually took on another voice that that much. But yeah. Good stuff. And I guess what I was starting to say, Robert, was just that I may have said it before, but I'll just reiterate. To anybody, if we go a little long, and or you're just needing to go like more close to actual time, you can by all means speak up and interject your favorite or whatever before out of order. But let's see, for my favorite part, I think it would have to be I guess I'd characterize it as Saoirse interfacing with the teleporter device. Teleportation device, however you'd say that. That was great. And I had a brief moment where I thought things might have gone very differently
Oh my.
than I had planned. I won't say exactly in what way.
I know exactly what way.
Yeah, I think most of us do. Maybe not exactly, but pretty damn good idea.
I will say, I mean, Saoirse is not a teleporter. But yeah, regardless, that was a lot of fun. I was glad that she acted on that impulse. And I guess, well, maybe I'll just say, I'll just say a kind of a general one: following impulses, because that happened several times tonight. It was a lot of fun. Danielle, what about your favorite?
Not getting Zip Zap Zooch to Rizkor Kupiets. No, my favorite was I guess my favorite I don't know if I had a favorite tonight. I guess finding out more, but we didn't really find out anything. I guess I kind of feel underwhelmed with the information we didn't get. So, and it feels like the computer was really just holding us off until whoever could get there could get there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Got you. Well, great. Discovered the problem of trying to use asterisks in this. Cool. Well, I took what I could from what you said, even though you sort of walked it back after you said it. All right. Dex.
Did you skip it? Oh, you went first. Robert went 1st and then you. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, following from Robert's, my first fave was the same thing, but it was that Cade learned Saoirse can speak normally, but doesn't, to troll.
Yep.
And my second fave was interdimensional cable.
can I just honestly say, let's just take a moment here. The fact that you would say to someone who's from a different planet, different system, oh, you can talk normally, but you don't, and assume that their reason for not doing so is to troll people. Actually, pretty canonically racist. Like, that's just pretty standard racism. That assuming the way you speak is the normal speak, and that this other person could only be speaking the way they were raised to speak to troll you.
It is more about how that scene played out. The way Saoirse answered him made it seem more like it was a playful thing, her not speaking in a way that he was asking in order for him to be able to understand. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right that putting it that way is pretty by definition racist.
Yeah, and you know,
Or at the very least, just not cool.
Mhm.
That's all I'm gonna say, is that Saoirse just didn't feel like it dignified an answer.
yeah, and I mean, and her response, you know, you could read in the usual kind of playful banter to it, but yeah, just in isolation, you know, what was it? It was something along the lines of, I was hoping you'd, you know, she kind of turned his question back, his statement back against him. What was it? I wish, I was hoping,
You take
to,
the time to understand.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I was trying to remember the way he had phrased it because it was something like I was hoping you'd, you know, speak where I could understand, and she was like, I was hoping you'd, you know, put in some effort. It's like kind of biting.
But
But
yeah,
I don't know. Anywho, Let's see, Ethan. I believe that brings us to you.
Oh, to me.
Mm-hmm.
Line's a quote again. Corgi Butt has derailed this session. And yes, also the sector's cagiest computer.
Let's see. Cagiest computer, if I can type. Yeah, that was. I've got to take my hat off to that GIF. I was thoroughly impressed.
No mind.
I'm trying to remember why it even. Just why.
So someone said that something along the lines of any butt in coffee makes it bad coffee, and so I found Corgi Butt.
Oh, a coffee with butts in it qualifies as bad coffee.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, Ethan, you were proven objectively wrong.
That's a butt on top of the coffee.
Give it long enough.
Yeah, that's splitting hairs.
I will say, usually when there's latte art that complicated, the coffee itself is not any good by the time you change it. So I think Dex's assertion still stands.
It's fair. Let's see. There was something that oh, yeah. I think that's good. We're ready for Avery now.
I have fun questioning Echo. Particularly when the first question was, "Are you gonna hurt my friends?" And his answer was, about as sus as it could get.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Wasn't
Yeah.
even trying to hide the fact that that was definitely a possibility.
I did enjoy that Ben used "That's a very good question" as a threat.
Overall, I wish that I could have justified a way to make Java more useful in that scenario, but I was entertained.
Good. I'm glad for that. Yeah, a lot of these situations, it can be hard to know exactly, what you need to do or what you quote unquote should do and how to be useful. But with you guys always find good ways to play your characters and make it a good time for everybody. I think. I
I
hope.
feel like that's more important than being meta.
I hope that I was able to balance that well enough. Because I know you guys obviously it was as Ethan put it, Sector's cagiest computer. Didn't want to answer much. I hope I didn't focus too much on that part of it, to the detriment of the other things you guys were getting up to that overall got you some answers and
Okay,
right now.
what information did we learn? Because I didn't feel like we did learn anything
So I
from the computer.
feel like the information we learned wasn't so much confirmed as much as we've been able to make a lot of fairly well-educated assumptions by this point. And I do think it sounded like somebody else was about to start talking when I started. Sorry about that.
The computer does what it's told. His name is Echo. He can make a sticky candy bar, but it's not the same as the other one. They don't share information. And we can probably assume that there are definitely other computers of an unknown quantity.
Some of them may be information that I think we're saying we know, but Ben hasn't actually confirmed. There is one piece of information confirmed. Nafia is safe, or at least was at the last time the computer knew. Some of the maybe information is maybe Nafia is that alien. Maybe this teleports from one system to another. Maybe there's teleporters on both Urala and Araskor Kubiets that if we were to make friends with the person who controls these teleporters and get an invitation, we might be able to make our transits a lot faster. And actually accomplish more with knowledge of these teleporties. Teleporties? Yeah, teleporties.
It sounds like what you call pool floaties or arm floaties.
Dexter's over
Mom,
here casually
did you pack my teleporties, Mom?
casually sussing out the technical terms that I was using in my secret GM notes
Oh my.
for these devices.
Well, the pool floaties is actually a good analogy. They're for people who can't swim, and teleporties are for people that can't teleport.
Mm. If only you guys had looked in the locker. You'd found the sets of puffy armbands. Oh man.
I also think that even if we didn't get any good confirmed information, at least we have, in theory, been able to send a message to Nafia, and in all likelihood, the teleport that's coming in is probably Nafia. I have a feeling that we're going to open up next session, driving away, and then getting a call from Nafia and saying, "Hey, just missed you." Maybe angry, maybe not. Yeah. Anyone else have info or maybe info?
I think something I just thought of was the fact that the computer confirmed that they have been given a whitelist of people who are allowed to enter through that door.
Ooh, yes, right.
Which could mean that there are more people here on Tabuk, like possibly Kareem or other close associates that Nafia has, who possibly know about this room already and have already entered it or used it. Also, if we're sticking with our shape-shifting alien theory, could be anybody.
There's next interaction with Kareem is gonna be all kinds of why didn't you tell us this? Well, we didn't need to know. Well, we found out anyways. Next time, just tell us things so we don't break stuff finding it out.
I feel like that's going to be our session prep for next week, is really just figuring out what questions we have for Kareem to try and figure out how much he actually knows. And we might need to try and contact Boris.
Well, that would be made simpler if we could use the teleporty.
Yeah, that would be a lot
Nafia,
simpler.
you've got some splaining to do.
I was thinking it.
Hmm. All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate the feedback, and I appreciate everybody's participation tonight. It was a lot of fun. You guys threw me enough. I wouldn't call them curveballs so much as
Excitement.
yes, some excitement, some particularly questions for the computer that I had not prepared for mentally. And yeah, I think some fun stuff. Did end up having to skim over, just for the sake of time, something that I guess Brother Nick's final bit of conversation with the computer. And hope that I was able to.
That could be posted in the text role play,
Could?
right?
Yeah. I was gonna leave that somewhat up to Ethan, because I didn't quite have. I didn't feel like we had time for it, given how much we'd already spent on that for the session. But yeah, maybe he could type it up, or it had a notable effect on him that maybe one of the characters would think to ask about later.
Yeah,
Could be a fun
I did
in-character moment.
notice the sheds a tear emote. I felt like I had missed something because I had no idea where that came from.
Oh yeah, same.
Well,
But it seemed importante.
the answer is you did miss something, but everybody missed it except Ethan.
I would love to see that played out in text roleplay if you guys are thinking about doing that.
There we go.
Have a good night, everybody.
Okay.
Later, Robert.
Good night,
good night, Robert.
Robert.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here.
Good plan. Good and late.